Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Sure, so moved.
Great. For a second. Mike, will you second it? All right, I'll second it. Fine. Any changes, modifications, anything?
Yeah, sorry, my
All in
microphone
favor?
cut out for a second.
No problem. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Okay, so we have water tower floodlights and water tower banner replacement. Do you want to just tackle these together, Lauren or Jacob?
Sure. So we did those engineer drawings for the banner replacement, and we are working on getting additional bids for the floodlights, but just at a high level, what we have back so far on the floodlights, it's from Yesco, $39,343, and that's mainly because they have to rerun all the wiring and conduit because it was all taken out previously. So that's that. We're still working on additional estimates to try to get some competitive bids here. And then on the banner, we've got 2 bids so far. This is being bid out by the engineering firm that made the drawings. One bid came back at $18,525, and they are recommended by the engineer. And one bid came back at $79,150. Again, we're trying to get a third bid, but that kind of gives you a range of where we're at.
And Lauren, when I read through these, they look the scope seemed the same because it's the same engineering doc, right? So it's not like one's materially different than another.
Correct. They're both bid out on the same specs, and the same engineering company that did the drawings is bidding it out for you, so you know that they're having the right conversations with people.
Okay.
And remind
gap between the two bids.
Yeah, no kidding, Mike. That's what I was like. What am I missing here?
That's why we're looking at the third bid. And I also talked to Luis Santiago, our director of facilities. He has used this engineering firm before, and they also do work for Disney, so he knows that they do quality and work with quality contractors.
Does this have to have any ARC or anything involvement, or no? Or...
I mean, technically, CJC, the CJC board is the ARC committee. There are signage guidelines that we would have to go through and make sure we're meeting county requirements. And we did that when we were looking at updating the monument sign at Town Hall to make sure it was compliant with that. So we would make sure that this is compliant with that, but I believe it is.
So, all right. Well, so that would just be on us to, and I assume you all would dictate if that meets design guideline specific. I mean, I don't know, like typically what we've done in these instances because we don't have an ARC committee.
We would look at it and see if it was easy for us to determine, but if we had any questions or concerns, we would certainly talk with Jeffrey or Mike Jones as well.
Okay.
Granted, Disney doesn't have the ability to tell you, no, you can't do that, but at the same time, we would still want to get their input.
Okay.
From a county perspective, it's probably considered temporary signage anyway, though.
So, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, good point, Mike.
So the only other thing, just from my understanding, Kanoa, Mike, you all are paying this, right? This is not coming from CJC. Is that accurate?
I was hoping Lee was going to be on the line so that we could see if we had a difference of opinion on that, because I don't know. We haven't discussed it at the Kanoa level yet. Lauren, can you add that to the agenda for our meeting?
Yes, for September I will. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, feel free to jump in. Like, I mean, we've already kind of got enough going on right now, I think, with the budget. So I don't know. I mean, I think this really, I mean, obviously let us know, but my assumption, we were just gonna, I guess, have oversight, but ultimately you all, if footing the bill, I hate to say it, it's really a non-owner benefit.
The only thing is we do have HOA, like, I know porch and yard sale is technically Experience Kissimmee and those sort of things, but there are some events that, like, we do use it. for things that are, I would say, CJC level. So I don't know.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
It's one of those things where, and the other part about it is that, I'd rather I would rather it be at the CJC level, not that I want to sign up to pay for more things, but then if Kanoa were to pay for the whole thing, bluntly, then I don't feel that we would ever be able to ask to use it for any HOA things at all. So I don't think that would be fair. So I always thought this was a CJC expense, to be blunt.
Is that Lee that just joined?
It looks like it.
Yep.
All right, Lee, the conversation that you just missed was the discussion on who would pay for the water tower improvements with the lights and the banner. Charles is afraid of adding anything else to the budget. As you can imagine, they're getting scrutinized by residents pretty heavily right now. Eric, do you want to restate your position on it?
Yeah, I think, to me, we can see it both ways. I think, yes, the Kanoa gets benefit to it, but there's also usage for the HOA or it's really CJC level things like porch and yard sale and, those type aspects, which technically, yes, they're a CJC piece because it's the Experience Kissimmee piece coming into it, but really we think of them as a HOA, HOA level piece. So I don't know. I think it is to me, I still see this as a CJC thing, kind of because it's always been a CJC thing too.
Do we have reserves at all for this, or any money set aside at all?
You have reserves for repair, but you pretty much exhausted them when you completed the repair a couple of years ago, and you don't have any capital funding that would be an excess of funds, because at the end of every year, CJC is a pass through, so your account is effectively zeroed out and money sent back to the associations.
What if at our next board meeting, we discussed a larger contribution than our current percentage reflects? Would that be a fair approach?
What do you mean?
Well, I think our CJC contribution for this year is what, 18% or something like that, Lauren?
2%.
No, this year, the one we're currently in.
Oh, yes, something like that.
So instead of us paying 18% of it, maybe we could pay a much larger percentage for this project.
So basically adding funds
what's the total again? The total was, one was, the lights were expensive and the pulley was not, from what I remember, right? The total.
The pulley was like 18 grand.
Yeah. Lights were basically 40,000, and the pulley system, the lower bid was 18.5. So Mike, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying Kanoa puts additional funds into CJC for this year to effectively pay for these projects, but it's still paid for out of CJC.
Yeah, I mean, it would require the entire board's discussion, but is that a reasonable approach?
I think so. I think that addresses kind of Eric's concerns and Charles' concerns on the Croa side.
Yes.
So obviously, it needs Kanoa approval.
But we're talking about $60,000 though, which is a pretty. I mean, if you're saying there's nothing in CJC, right? Then 60 is a lot. I mean, if there's nothing, let's say we did 50-50, or we did even higher, or whatever it was. Crow would have to come up with something. I'm not sure they're in a position to come up with anything. Is that the question? Is that really the issue? I mean, because it's not
Crow
budgeted,
is
right?
not in a financial position to pay anything additional into CJC this year.
Yeah, and again, we can litigate CJC versus Kanoa, but I mean, our financial picture right now is just we just can't.
No, I understand. That. I mean, money's money, is it there or not?
Yeah, how would we also address Eric's concern too, that he doesn't want it becoming a Kanoa thing? Is there a reasonable amount that we could go back to our board and see if we can get X dollars approved for this?
Yeah, I think to me, it's one of those things where it's either we need to figure out what I don't know, Lauren, the percentage of usage would be. I mean, on things that we could arguably say some people like forget what it technically is. Like porch and yard sale is the one that I keep thinking of, right? But it's if we use it for porch and yard sale, and some people consider that more of an HOA benefit, for what we're using those. It's like figure out what the percentage of usage would be, and then we need to propose that. Charles, I know that's going to be an uphill battle because we don't don't know what to do. But
Yeah.
I don't know a different way to slice it. And I mean, I get I'm speaking from my CJC voice right now, not necessarily my Croa voice. It's just I'm trying to balance everything together.
Could we do like an in-kind, like I'm very, very apprehensive right now about approaching and even putting this on the budget. Like, could we talk about like giving you all like staffing time, or I'm trying to figure out a way to candidly, I don't think it's going to go over well with the Crow board, and I really don't want and I really don't want to get this on the Crow agenda because there are also some feelings about things, and I don't want to get into that. So
what if it's something like in-kind sponsorships of like staff time to help with tables, tents, and chairs when it comes to things like the Pie Festival, art show.
Eric, are you good with that?
Yeah, I think that's an easier sell for us. I mean, there's still a cost to us to do it. But I think.
But those Mike, are CJC staff that are doing it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think the bigger question, Mike, is we're talking $60,000. Are we going to approve $60,000 to do it? I'm not sure about that. And maybe, it's the same question is, what's a need to have, what's a must have. So we have to kind of look at that and say, maybe it's not a this year thing right away. Maybe it has to be part of it. Lauren, could those be independent, those two? I mean, one's not dependent on the other, right? Okay.
No, not at all. You could do the banner now and then do the lights later. And to be honest, Lee, you missed this part of the conversation, but we're still trying to get more bids on the lights.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. The lights are.
I think our concern is that this year, most of our money was still tied up in the cost sharing agreement. It's not until next calendar year that we actually have more funding. So some of this, at least one of these two, would probably have to be pushed to next year.
Yeah. And I hear what Charles is saying. I don't see us going and asking, if I were on Crow board, I'd be hesitant, or on the CJC representative for Crow board, to go back and say, oh, hey, they decided they would do, 60% or 75%. We just need 20, whatever it is. I think it wouldn't work. We have to come back with you something in kind or something. I think the big thing, Mike, we need to talk to Lauren, in a Canoa meeting or offline, and just see what we have and what we could budget, because it doesn't sound like this is an emergency repair, so they're not going to go to the Crow board, and we probably have to figure out how to creatively finance it. It might be next year, or might be part this year. Yeah, I totally understand.
The lights are currently functional, so that would probably be the one that could be pushed to next year.
Well, it's the most expensive, right? And how many did you guys get? A bunch of quotes, or what? Or when I say a bunch, did you get more than one? Because I saw one, but I didn't really look.
Yesco is the only one that's come back to us, but Luis is still working on additionals.
Okay, so
you might want to talk to Michael's Lighting too. They're the company that did all the power poles downtown a couple years ago when we did all the power structures, and they also do all the work out of Give Kids a World. They're really reasonable.
So my suggestion is we got the report, and in terms of what the next step is, I would say, Charles, that we should discuss this a little bit more. I mean, over the years in CJC have paid for, the entire computer system in town hall. You know what I mean? Disney literally just, here's $80,000 for this. And, over the years, they have done stuff just because they had the money to do it and that kind of stuff. We feel like this benefits us probably more than you, but I understand what Eric's talking about. We want it to stay a CJC thing, and certainly allow Crow to use it, as much as they can so they get benefit. But let's come back to you guys with some sort of idea, I think.
Yeah, and Lee, that's also not going to be a hill I die on either, right? I mean, and who knows, I might not even be on CJC by the time this decision is made. But I think that, we turn around and we go, If we say, hey, if I was in Kanoa's shoes and I say, hey, if I'm paying for this whole thing, sorry, Croa, you're out of luck if you want to use the banner, or we're going to charge you if you want to use the banner. I think that's fair too. I mean, I think it's one of those things that we kind of need to know what we're up against with it. But to Charles' point, I mean, it's really that I think would be the sacrifice that Croa would be willing to make right now too. Is say like we can't afford, and we know that we might lose access to something like this, and it may just be that.
I don't see a scenario where the Kanoa board would vote against letting you put up your banners for pups and pints and porch and yard sales, and that I can't see that happening.
We just gave you guys grills.
I'm just trying to be fair.
We just gave you guys grills. Yeah, we gave you guys grills. So right.
Well, actually, no, we didn't.
So
did you get that email, Lauren? We're not actually going to be using the grill.
Well, we tried to give you.
Yeah, I did, Janice. Yeah, Janice did respond.
Yeah.
So I think the other thing to me too is I think is as long as from a community angle, the water tower looks okay right now, like since we did all the work previously on it, so it doesn't look like it's falling down imminently anymore.
Right.
So we're okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. And then the only other thing, this is ultimately going to be managed by CJC, like to that point, like the project, the end, like that's all again going to stay here no matter how, right, Lauren? And okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so y'all are clear on next steps?
Yeah, Lauren, prior to our next meeting, can you try to get a couple more bids, our next Kanoa meeting, and try to get a couple more bids, and also give us an estimated of whether or not you think we can fit this into this year's budget or not?
Yes, I will do that.
At least one of them, one of the two, which would be the pulley system probably first.
Yeah, I mean, from a cost benefit perspective, I think the pulley system is your best option.
Yeah.
All right, budget. Lauren?
All right, let me pull that back up. Okay, this is your current draft 2027 budget. The biggest change since the first round that it went out was we reduced insurance from a 20% increase to a 15% increase. 20% was really the worst case scenario from your broker, and 15% is more in line with what your average year over year is. So we're going with that number. Also, that we've gotten most of the COIs from the apartment complexes, which was really going to drive what the insurance cost was going to be. The other change was a reduction in IT network, down closer to what it should actually be. There was some stuff in there that should not have been in there, that should have been a CROA expenditure, so we moved those back over. And overall, so your changes is really insurance and your compensation, which are your big drivers. No change in your management fee per your contract, and your labor rate is still your 5%.
And am I understanding this right when just this last line here, and this is me just not being able to read a budget, I think, Lauren, but there isn't a deficit forecast, right, for CJC?
You're at a 30,000 deficit forecast.
It is forecasted as a 30,000 deficit. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There's some ways where we can try to make that up a little bit, and we're trying to get creative.
What's the primary reason for the projected deficit?
I think it's compensation and insurance. You started out with about 100 and some odd K in insurance over budget.
You said we went from 20 to 15%. Oh, good.
Yeah,
is this because of the new amenities, or what's driving?
No, it's because in insurance you weren't rated for the apartment complexes having access to CROA amenities, and you also were underfunded on crime based on the amounts you had in your bank accounts, and there were a couple other items that they found that were not insured appropriately.
Okay.
CROA is self-insuring for anything under $30,000, and the finance committee is looking at other self-insurance options related to the vehicles and a couple other things, but those will be minimally impacting the overall.
So this is a stupid question, but then I assume, so what, 98% of that 30,000 has to get paid. Okay. So, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
and finance committee.
They're aware.
Okay. All right.
30,000's nothing though, Charles. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We have a much bigger deficit on the CROA budget number, so we're fine.
You won't be here next year, so.
Nope. I'm gonna beach somewhere with an umbrella drink. That'll be my plan.
I know. Do we have to do it? We don't have to notice anything to the community on this, like, or this is going to go out as an addendum with.
This goes out with both the CROA and Kanoa budgets as an addendum.
And do we need to do anything, I guess, as a next step? I assume we have to give you formal approval.
Yeah, I think once CROA gives their approval, we'll try to schedule a secondary CJC meeting, because that will also finalize Kanoa's budget for the most part.
Okay.
So then we'll have that meeting and the Kanoa meeting to propose the CJC to the community, and then in September, Kanoa will propose their budget to their community.
Okay.
Makes sense.
But there's not a lot of wiggle room in CJC as it stands.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on the budget, folks? Yeah, I know.
Nah. What else could we say about it, I guess?
Right?
No.
Need more lights. That's what we need.
We'll blame everything on Eric because he's going out. So let's just.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. I'll be the fall man.
Yeah. Seriously. All right. So board comments. So one thing, well, actually two things. I know we started doing the biweekly reporting. Is that valuable for everyone? And I guess I'd specifically asked the Kanoa side. I mean, anything.
I think very. Yeah, I think it's for us. Yes, because we don't get a big picture because we're not at the CROA meeting. So every time I get it, I'm like, oh, I really do think it's valuable. Quite honestly. Yeah.
Okay. And then I guess for management, is it something that we want to be wary of you all? Like, I assume the preparation and everything is okay with you all?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And then the only other thing, I guess I'll put this out there. So we are, because I think Mike, you and I maybe chatted about, I can't remember, but we are preparing to notify the community. So we're voting on the budget. We're voting to propose the budget on the CROA side to the community at the end of the month in our meeting. Management is preparing a communication to the community just to let them know what's driving the increase. Candidly, part of that is just going to be the CJC, the cost share. So it's not anything, and Eric, I don't know I mean, I would certainly be open to sharing it with you all if Eric agrees. I don't think we're going to have really an appetite to make modifications from you all, but it's very neutral. I don't think anything offensive. So
I don't think it's anything secret. I mean, I think that we can share it out. I also think too that it's not. I mean, it's still drafting around, but it's mainly. Look, the other part about this is most people don't even know what CJC is, and nor do they really. I don't want to say nor do they really care, but they don't. So I don't. It's one of those things that it's like, look, we recategorize pieces. There were pieces that should have been CROAs all along, and we're moving and we're correcting those things, and there's impact to the overall budget because of it, and that's kind of it. But no, I don't think there's a concern of sharing that with the Kanoa folks at all.
Okay, so Lauren, if you don't mind, just maybe sharing the current draft of it, and again, we just want to be good partners, and I think we didn't give you a preview maybe last year, but yeah, so that's all. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, and just for clarity, it's a letter that goes out every year with the budget, so it's not a new thing this year.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, I would just ask that it wasn't that. I mean, I guess the wording's everything. That Kanoa decided to, or blah blah blah. If it's CROA almost like how, Eric mentioned that, I mean, I don't know what it says, but we don't want to be thrown under the bus is really what I'm saying.
It's not. It's really not written. I mean, I remember vaguely last year's, but this is just, we've negotiated, we've tried to talk through it, and this is not vilifying one party or the other, at least as I read it. But obviously, if you have feedback, let us know. But I want to make sure we say that, and in the spirit of good partnership, that we give you all a chance to look at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Eric, anything from you?
Nope, got nothing.
Mike?
Nope, I'm good.
Lee?
Is this new business or something to bring up? Is that where we are?
Yep.
Yeah, board. Okay. Yeah, board comments.
I'll make it short, and it's something that we could talk about at a later meeting. So we have Kanoa property businesses. We have what's called the small business district or home business district, and now we have a growing business district that is literally across the street. I don't even know that these businesses pop up. They're not zoned correctly, and over the years they keep on growing. It's across from, say, old SunTrust and that kind of thing. It's literally everything is businesses there. I don't know who controls that. It could go tomorrow. They could rent the one on the left side across from like the old town hall, and that could be business. And it could go all the way down Water Street for all I know. I just don't know who's in control. Who is? Nobody's paying Kanoa fees. It's not Kanoa. I just have this fear that in 10 years, every downstairs anywhere going all the way to Old Stetson University is going to be a business, because somehow there's nothing in it. Like, basically, what are the rules for these businesses? I'm concerned. I was years ago, by the way, when this first happened, and now it just keeps on growing and growing and that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure there's any rules or anything like that. I mean, and it's on your web. It's on the Croa businesses on the website. You list them as businesses. We don't list them at all because they're not paying Kanoa. So it's probably not something we want to, but I think it's something we should talk to Charlie about. We should. I don't think they're zoned correctly, quite honestly. I don't see how it is, for business. So I don't understand, and that's kind of what I wanted to. I think we should have a policy or understanding, because I don't. Unless you guys do, I'm not really sure.
So those fall under Water Street Condo Association, but I'll have to ask Charlie about the specific zoning of them.
Yeah, but who said that they could do it? So Water Street Condo could go all the way down Water Street. I mean, are we saying that they could just add all the way down Water Street, every downtown one, or if they want to do upstairs one? So that's what I'm saying is who made the, we allowed it years ago.
What defines a business?
Yeah, well, that's why I said I need to talk to Charlie.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, that's just what I want to say. That maybe this is something we could tackle and understand down the road. So.
Okay. So good. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
All right, Eric.
Lee can take it.
Let Eric. It might be his last. You never know.
No, he's got to approve the budget. No.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh goodness. All right.
Awesome.
429. Thanks everyone.
All right. See you guys.
Thanks.
You. Have a good.
Yeah, bye.